I'm Rob Licuria, Senior Editor at Gold Derby, here with Aubrey Plaza, who stars and co-produces Emily the Criminal. First of all, Aubrey, congrats on not only your Indie Spirit nominations, but also you were nominated at the Gothams. The film's doing really well on Netflix, and you just got named in the top 10 indie films for the National Board of Review. So you're
I
killing
know,
it,
I just saw that. That's fucking insane.
right? That's
What?
pretty cool. So, like, what was your reaction when you were told you're in the top 10 lead performances nominations at the Indie Spirits? That's pretty cool.
Oh, I mean, that's my dream. That's my love for the Independent Spirit Awards has no limits.
Yeah.
I hosted the Spirit Awards twice because I love that show so much, and I love the spirit, no pun intended, the spirit of the show. It's like it's not about commercialism or money. It's just about shining light on small movies for the love of movies. So that nomination meant everything to me. I've never been nominated as an actor there. I've only been nominated as a producer. So man, and to be in that category with all those other films and all those other people, like it's insane.
Killing it. I know. And Theo was also nominated. And yeah, so the film's doing so well. It's been really well received. So let's talk about it, obviously. I was really impressed with it. I didn't know where it was going to take me, but early on in the film, Yusuf, played by Theo, asks Emily where she's at in her life. And she says, I just want to be free. And I think that explains a lot about how the film kind of ends up where it does and what she ends up doing. So she wants to pay for student loans, but do you agree that this was a pivotal jumping off point for you when you're reading the script to get into her mindset?
Yeah, I do. And I can't remember. Yeah, I mean that scene is really key. And I remember, there's not a ton of improv in the film. The script is incredible. But that scene in particular, I think we opened it up a little bit and we kind of improvised a little bit in that moment because I wanted to really be specific about what is driving her, and I think like I didn't want the movie to be so focused on debt and student loans. Obviously that is a problem for her, big problem for her, but ultimately, like, there's got to be something really kind of deep driving her to make these insane choices and decisions, so I think that that's key. And that line, like, I want to be free, like, that felt right to me in the moment. It just felt like that's what it is. Money is, makes people feel like, constrained, and so there is an element of, I mean, of course, whatever, but yes.
Yes, the answer, yeah, I think so too. Like student loans, is really in the news right now, obviously, and it's something that a lot of people put up with. And it's not just loans; it's all kinds of financial issues. But there's so much more going on with her. I found when I was just trying to kind of figure out, well, why would she go to the lengths that she does? And then, my favorite parts of the film, honestly, are where she doesn't really take any crap. So like when someone insults her, she demands they say it again. She's robbed at knife point, she attacks them back. Her friend gives her an excuse about an interview and she immediately calls them out. And like the when Gina Gershon's character suggests an internship, mate, that scene is killer because you just start to escalate. And I'm like, come on, I want to see more. So to me, I have to say, and I'm hoping you agree, that's aspirational. I would love to be able to be more like that in my life. When someone does something stupid, to be like, hey, fuck you, you're an idiot. What do you think?
Me too. Are you kidding? That the whole movie is about, someone trying to get their power back. And for me, that was what was so enticing about playing this character. It's like I thought that, I mean, honestly, playing the character actually taught me a lot about myself and about how I need to implement more of that vibe in my own life, because what's cool about the movie is that Emily starts the movie and she's already had enough. She's already at an 11 in that first interview scene. And most movies, you find characters starting way at the bottom, and then you see them lose everything, and then they get to the point in the middle of the movie where they've had enough. This movie, she's already had enough. She's already been through a lot of shit. We don't know exactly what it is, but I think that kind of that idea is what's so fun about the movie, because she does not give a fuck. Like, she just doesn't have any fucks to give. And so it's really fun to watch someone fight, say all the things that you want to say in those moments that you don't say, and to watch someone say all the shit that's going in your head, going like, man, I wish I could tell this lady off right now. And she just does it 'cause she doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't have anything to lose,
Yeah, is that the key then as well? Like when you're getting this, you get the script and trying to build this character in your mind. Obviously, you want to play her authentically. And I was kind of debating as I was watching the film, obviously because I was thinking about ways for me in, and I'm like, is she just like a really tough person, a fighter, or is it more like honestly she's just kind of had enough and she's at her limit, and now she really doesn't give a shit about the consequences?
I think both. I think that's what's cool about the movie too, is that like, you think you're watching someone that is just like a victim of their circumstance, and you're going to see them fight their way out of it. But now by the end of the movie, you realize, honestly, this is just her personality. It reminds me of the movie Straight Time with Dustin Hoffman, where you watch that movie and you think, okay, I'm going to watch a criminal go straight, go clean, because that's the right thing to do. But really, people are just different. Some people are good at different things. This character just happens, this is where her sweet spot, she's just good at it. And so I think like at the end of the day, it's like, it's her personality, it's genetic. That's just who she is. She's got it in her blood, and all these things kind of like, come to a head. But I think ultimately that's just who she is.
Yeah, and I think it also her attitude's contrasted against Yusuf, who doesn't stand up for himself as much. He's more defeatist and despondent when he loses everything, and she's like, no, we're serious people, and they should be scared of us. And so, yeah, I really dug that. I thought that was awesome. Anyway,
yeah, that seems killer. Like, yeah, I mean, it's true. It's like he's the criminal, but it's like he doesn't even have that. He's a real victim of his circumstance. And Theo and I talked a lot about that, about how a lot of times criminals don't want to be criminals. They're surviving. They're doing what they have to do. But then some people just want to be criminals because that's just what they're good at. So
yeah, exactly. I was also thinking, when the role starts becoming really physical, I wasn't expecting it. Like, I really wasn't expecting Emily to be thrown to the ground with a box cutter on her neck, and then it really starts to escalate. Pardon me. So the role demanded a lot of physical work, like the car chase and so forth. So did that involve like typically a lot of prep for you, or are you just kind of diving in when you get on set and just seeing what happens?
Honestly, no prep, unfortunately, on a movie this small. We shot
Small
the movie
movie, yeah.
20 days in LA, 20 days, that's not very much time. We prepped we had 3 days of rehearsals, but those rehearsals were more about Theo and I, in our scenes and building up our chemistry and stuff. But in terms of the physical stuff, that was instinctual. It was just kind of dive in. And of course we had a stunt coordinator who was great. And we had help, like, the guy that I steal the car from, that pulls me out of the car, and then I get in a fight with him. Roman is his name, and he's a stunt guy. He's an actor, obviously, he's a good actor, but he's also a stunt guy. So I learned from these people on the day, and just kind of had to get my hands dirty, get in there, just take it moment by moment, really.
Yeah, on a small film like Emily the Criminal, it's not a huge budget, you don't have a lot of time. I guess, how do you feel about how you've all got to kind of come together, and is it digging a little deeper? It sounds so cliche, but I think you know what I'm getting at. Like, you've got to just make magic happen with very little resources, and doesn't that sometimes lead to something really special? And this is why, again, the film is resonating so well with audiences.
Totally. I think so. It's like, I don't think that necessarily more, having a huge bloated budget and all the resources in the world and all the gadgets and things in the world, equal good movie. It just doesn't happen that way. So that's the thing about independent films is if you're catching lightning in a bottle, and if you're able to, have everyone involved in the production feel inspired, feel like they're working on a piece of art, then sometimes magic starts to happen. But I think, like, movies kind of dictate what they want to be. It's like you can't force that stuff. But I think you can inspire people. And I think if people working on a small movie like that, maybe they're not making a lot of money, definitely they're not making a lot of money, but if they feel inspired and they feel like they're making something special, then magic stuff starts to happen. So I'm always really focused on kind of trying to create that environment, because then at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, it was tough. It was a tough shoot. We were up against a lot, but at least we feel like we made something special together. We made art,
Yeah, and now people are really responding. I think it's number 3 on the charts on Netflix now. That's huge with all the stuff that Netflix has got on at the moment. So that's awesome. So this is a final question about the film itself, and that is, she ends up in South America, and she's kind of come full circle. Now she's the ringleader of this credit card fraud scheme, and like I think the dumb question is, how do you relate to her? But it's more, I'm actually more interested in, when you're piecing her together in your head, do you have to rationalize how she arrives at that conclusion so that you can kind of understand her motivations, or does that not matter and you're just kind of following the script and just playing her as a person who's just in that circumstance? How does it work for you in your brain?
I mean, I have a really kind of specific way that I work on characters and scripts, and they don't necessarily have anything to do with the plot of the film. It's more about kind of the objective of that character. And like I said before, this movie is all about someone getting their power back, and becoming a fully realized person. So the rationalization of kind of, the decisions that she makes in terms of leaving Yusuf, or, taking the money and whatever she's doing, like, it's less important to me than the idea of someone just winning, whatever that means. Like, so I think that's what I think about. It's less literal when I work on movies, and it's more about kind of what is at the core of this story. What is the story that we're telling? It's about someone that it becomes a boss at the end, just not the kind of boss that you were expecting.
Yeah, totally. I'm all over that. Like, that hustle, it pays dividends, maybe not in a great way, but yeah, I totally see what you're saying. You also have a producer credit on the film, and for the lay people like myself, like, what does that actually mean? What do you bring to the table outside of your role as number 1 on the call sheet?
I mean, I'm really hands-on as a producer. I'm all over it. I'm involved in every part of it, every step. I'm in the edit, I'm in the mix, I'm really, I love making films. I love all parts of it. I went to film school, I studied directing and production. So, it's not a vanity, credit for me. It's everything to me. If I decide to put my name on something as a producer, I'm all over it. I'm all over it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Sometimes I ask that question, I think, oh shit, this could just be like give me the credit, I want the extra money. But I had a feeling that wasn't the case, and that's why I wanted to ask you. So I have a couple more questions before I let you go, non-Emily related. The first one is obviously about White Lotus. It's currently airing and everyone's totally all over it, and we're obsessed with it. My parents are from Taormina and Giardini, so it's a very,
No way.
yeah, like I'm just, you can imagine how that just elevates the material for me. So I'm curious, because I don't think we should be spoiling anything, because we've got a big surprise coming up this weekend, I think. How did you feel about filming the production in Sicily? Were you, well, I mean, was it amazing, or were you just kind of too busy to even notice the paradise around you?
Oh no, I mean it was you can't not notice it. I mean, it's like breathtakingly beautiful, just waking up in my room every day and looking out the window. I mean, you couldn't believe it. It looks like you're living in a painting or something with, with the water and then with the volcano and the Mount Etna in the background. It's unreal. I mean, of course, we got busy and we were working, but I don't think it was lost on any of us, the beauty of Sicily. I think about it a lot. It was incredible.
Yeah, I always tell people, once you're there, it kind of seeps into your DNA. A lot of places are like that, but I think that one is particularly like that. I can't
Yeah,
wait for
for
that.
sure.
Also, my 12-year-old son, who is an expert on all things Agatha Harkness, wanted me to ask you whether you're playing the villain in Covenant Chaos, and whether you can pretty much just tell us everything, so that, and I promise I won't tell anyone else.
Yes, I'll tell you everything. So I am playing. No, it's kidding. No way. Not even
Nothing.
going.
You're not even going to blink. Like, just blink twice if you're this, and blink 3 times. No, I'm kidding. All right, but you're in it. We can say that.
Sure. As of now, yeah.
That's so exciting, because that's hugely anticipated. I think that's going to go gangbusters when it comes out next year. And are you currently in production on Megalopolis with Francis Ford Coppola?
Yes.
So you got that as well. Like, you're just really not doing a lot with your career. It's not going anywhere.
No, nothing is happening. I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs. Nope, no, nothing insane. Nothing.
You're basically killing it. And I know, because I have teenage children, that you are very big in that demographic. I'm not, so I just thought you'd be a foot in
What,
the
with
door.
teenagers?
Yeah, they love you.
Really?
Why is that? Why do you think that is? I don't know.
Oh, is it April Ludgate? Tell them to buy my book, The Return of the Christmas Witch.
Yes, I will.
On shelves now.
On shelves now. And in the meantime, check out Aubrey Plaza in Emily the Criminal on Netflix. Never
That
truly.
wasn't even planned. I just had my laptop is on a stack of my books. I wasn't even trying to promote it, but
There you go. Well,
there you go.
now, thank you. I love that. A little plug at the end of an interview never goes astray. But Aubrey, honestly, thanks for your time. I really enjoyed this film, honestly, and I'm just like, you're everywhere right now. So yeah, I think you're going to have a pretty big 2023, and that's cool.
Thanks, Robert. Thanks for having me, and tell your kids I said hi.